Alright, good morning, guys. So today we're actually going to go ahead and begin with the new chapter that we were supposed to begin with when we went back to school on Monday. It was actually going to be 10.1, beginning with circles. So today what we're going to be, last time actually, before we begin, we were reviewing some of the basic words that this special terminology that I think would be definitely very helpful for you to review. So one of the things was the line segment, the ray, and a point. Now remember that a line is an infinite line. It's an infinite straight. It goes in an infinitely both straight direction. So there would be an arrow that goes one way and then an arrow that goes the other way. For the line segment, remember that we have two endpoints that are connected, right? So it ends. We have a ray. It's kind of like a stingray. Remember, that's what I kind of wanted you guys to remember. That stingray is like the one endpoint and one arrow that goes to the other. And then a point is just a solid dot. So we wouldn't say the point for the line segment, for example, right? Those would be two different things. So in class, ideally what I would have you do is with your elbow partner, we would go ahead and work on the definitions of the circles. And I would start off by having you guys actually I'd do the first ones. Okay, let's go back a little bit before. So this is something that I was a graphic organizer that I found very helpful, and I was going to have you guys do this as well, except you guys would have a blank one. So in class, I'd go ahead and show you guys this on the projector, and then notice that they're all in different colors. So here we have the circle, and then the definition and a naming. We have the chord, the definition, the naming. The chord is symbolized with the blue, so this is from here to here is what I would say is the chord. The tangent, it's what's the green. The diameter is the purple. The radius is orange, and then the secant is yellow. So the very first, so what I would have wanted you to do is, with your elbow partner, look at what you have and try to use the academic language that you already know to create your own definition, right? Instead of me giving you the definition, sometimes I notice it gets really boring and it just seems so overwhelming, especially when you have so many new words. So I wanted to have you guys try it on your own and just think about how you would describe these terminologies to maybe your younger brother or younger sister. Sometimes it's just helpful to be able to say it in your own words, and it just makes it easier to remember. So for the first two, I have these written down just as an example, and then I would go ahead and have you guys try the rest with your partner. So for the circle, we have the definition that I have. It's a set of all points that are equidistant from a given point called the center. So equidistant means the distance is all the same. So if this is a circle, these are all the points around that are the same distance to this middle or the center called the J. Now the naming of this circle, or how we name a circle, is we do circle, draw a circle with the dot in the middle, followed by the letter of the center. So in this case, it would be J. Now the chord we have, it's what's in blue. So looking at the blue, I would try to think of a way to describe this to my younger brother or sister. So I would say it's a segment, right, or a line segment whose endpoints, remember these are the endpoints, are on a circle. Now I'm only looking at this part. This is a chord. So on your own, I would have you go ahead and try and do these by yourself, right? I would go ahead and have you pause this video and try to think of ways to describe what you are seeing in your own words. Now, assuming that you've paused the video and then you've kind of given yourself a little bit of some time to go ahead and do these, I'm going to go ahead and just give you what I have. Oh, I forgot to name the chord. In this case, we have the naming is AC or CA. It doesn't really matter, with my line segment on top. Otherwise, if you're just saying CA, you're talking about the distance. So be careful right there. So now we have tangent. Well, what I have it's a line that intersects the circle in exactly one point. So here is a tangent. It's a tangent. It's a line that intersects the circle here, or it touches the circle at exactly one point. So my tangent line here would be M, or actually we would call it X, M. Because it's not a line segment, we're not going to label it this way, but it's a ray. It starts from here and it goes this direction. Or we could have said M going that direction. So now we move on to the diameter. Well, the diameter is a chord. What I wrote is a chord that contains, this diameter, it's in purple. It's a chord that contains the center of the circle. Remember, a chord is a segment whose endpoints are on the circle. Well, isn't a diameter, doesn't it also have endpoints that are on the circle? Yeah, right? So the only difference is that this one, it contains the center. It's very important to know. It could also have been this way that was a diameter, or this way, right? There are many different ways. Think of it as like cutting a pizza in half. As long as it's able to go exactly through the circle, then that is considered the diameter. So in my case, I'm going to go ahead and label it. So from one endpoint, passing through the center J to the other endpoint would be GD, or DG is also okay. Okay, so now we move on to the radius. So the radius is at this part right here, the orange. So what I had is it's the segment with one endpoint on the center, J, and one on the circle, F. Now again, it doesn't have to be exactly this one. It could have been from J to X, or J to G, J to D, J to A, J to C. Those are all also acceptable radiuses. But in this case, this is what an example that we have. So naming would be JF. Just like this. Okay. All right. So finally we move on to the secant. And the secant is, it's a line. Let's follow it. It's a yellow part, right? So it's a yellow line here. Do note that it's a line because it has arrows pointing to both ends. So it's a line that intersects the circle in 2 points, right? A line that intersects the circle at exactly 2 points. And also note how it relates to the chord. Well, isn't the secant a chord? Yeah, right? Because it's part of the chord. It's a definition. It follows the definition of a chord, plus it becomes infinitely extended to both directions. Okay? Alright, so this is the very first part. Very important stuff that you guys will be using all throughout this chapter. So I thought this was a really nice way to organize yourself and just keep this as we're working on with the next few chapters.